Hi, this is Becca.
And this is Kyla.
And you are listening to Chatterbox. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I want to get into our announcements first. So I'm just going to talk about our platform for a second. The more interaction that we get with our platform, it's going to be easier for others to find our page. And if you would like to share feedback with us about how we're doing or about things that we could incorporate into our podcast, we would want to seek to build a community. This is something that's going to happen eventually. We are a new podcast. One of the goals that I have for this platform for our Girl Talk Tuesday edition is we would like to interview and promote women-owned businesses. So we want to support our girls. Whether you run a salon or a yoga studio, a coffee shop, a bakery, women-owned businesses literally run the world. So we want to do our best to promote, and that's one of the points that we have for this platform is to promote. So again, if you are interested in becoming a future guest on our podcast, once we reach a certain amount of subscribers, we're looking for 50 subscribers at least. If we can get 50 subscribers, we will start interviewing. So again, send us your ideas, send us emails if you want to be interviewed, and we can add that to our schedule eventually. We love you guys, and we hope that you had a good week. I had an extremely good week. Did you have a good week?
I did have a good week. I did, yes.
I had an interview for a 4-day work week job, and I really hope that I get this job. I'm putting it out there into the universe. I want this job. I need this job. I won't know until next week. So I think I find out on like Monday or Tuesday if I got it. So I think Wednesday is like the last day. So very excited. This job opportunity. I've also been pretty good about working out, eating healthy this week. I've also been good about staying on top of cleaning my house. I haven't been sleeping good. I've not been sleeping good.
Oh, I tell you what, that's what I have been doing, is sleeping good.
Oh my God. No, not me. I'm not sleeping good because I don't know what it is, but like I just like keep waking up in the middle of the night. I'll wake up and I'll kind of freak out and I'm like, oh my God, it's time for work. And then it's like 3 a.m.
Oh.
So then my brain is like, okay, go back to sleep. But then it's like I'm having broken sleep. Like I'm not sleeping all the way through.
Full REM sleep, as they call it.
I've also had very weird dreams lately. And I feel like that's associated. I don't know what that's associated with. Maybe it's the planets. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
It's all that crap that's been happening, like that fish and the earthquakes, all this weird earthly stuff.
Yeah, there's a bunch of weird stuff going on right now.
Maybe that's what's affecting you.
I've been having issues sleeping, but I'm about to start taking magnesium more, and I'm also about to start taking ashwagandha throughout the day. I'm about to start doing a lot of different things that I haven't been doing in my normal daily routine because I'm going to be doing a detox. My detox starts on Valentine's Day, so I'm going to be detoxing. And it's probably going to be hard for me to sleep. Sucks.
I'm drinking, well, I had a drink of coffee and I want another one.
I'm drinking because it's the Super Bowl and I don't give a fuck about football. Okay, we're recording on Super Bowl Sunday and I don't give a fuck about football, but I will drink to football.
Manifest that I win this cruise and they're announcing it on football today.
Yeah, Kyla put in for this, what is it? It's like a MSC free cruise. It was like a giveaway sweepstakes or something, right?
Yeah, on TikTok.
So she has a really good chance of winning because MSC actually liked all of her videos.
Sweet her. They commented on one of my videos and said, you should enter in this video. So I honestly don't even know if I would have known. I mean, maybe in my For You page, maybe it would have popped up, but no.
Well, all the good vibes. Give all the good vibes that Kyla gets this. You guys are not going to find out if she gets this until our next episode.
You won't even hear this probably.
No,
so
hey, you don't know. Hey, if you do win, we'll have to let everybody. Actually, whether you win or lose, we will let everybody know.
I'll let you guys know what the chances were because I've been obsessively looking and manifesting. So.
Yes, I'm giving Kyla all the good vibes. I think that she's gonna get it, but.
I already got it. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, you already got it.
I already got it. It's here. I won. I'm going on that cruise.
If you really manifested like this, that's going to be awesome.
I've been manifesting. I've been saying I'm already going. I'm like,
I love it. It's going to be so awesome. Me and my man haven't gone on a cruise together yet, but we do. That is one of our things that we plan to do this year as a couple is to go on a cruise somewhere because when we go on vacation, I feel like we are always driving and doing a lot of driving and a lot of hiking, but we never get to go to like a place where everything is right there. So it would be nice to be on a cruise ship and have, all of our meals very easily accessible. We can swim.
You can eat as much as you want all day. It's actually, it's kind of bad.
And drinking, but if I'm drinking, I'm not eating that much.
No, you'd be surprised.
I'll eat for dinner time, but I'm not a big lunch person on vacation. When I'm on vacation, I eat breakfast and then I eat dinner. I feel like I don't eat lunch because I'm so busy. If I have something on
you're
the go,
passing through, you can just grab something and eat it.
True, yeah.
You're gonna do it. You can't. You can say all you want that you're not going to, but it's there, and you're gonna eat it.
Well,
there's literally on the go. You're gonna be like, oh my god, a little French fry after you just drank. For a little French fry snack after you just had a couple margaritas. Well, I don't start drinking usually till later in the day anyway.
So there's gonna be one day where I'm drinking all day.
They have mimosas at the breakfasts and stuff if you have the drink package. But sometimes if you drink all night, you're gonna need a couple hour break. You want to just have a relaxing morning and then start up maybe around maybe at noon, but usually around 2 typically I would say. And then I'm going because we're gonna stay up late. Don't be lying. I'm up till 12 at night sometimes. When I was on Carnival, honey, we was up till 2, 3 a.m. in the club. Dude,
I can't wait.
I'm just looking at videos of my friend or that I met, the guys I met, and I was like,
she misses her cruise friend.
Why can't I meet more people like that? It was so good. It just makes you want to get out and meet more people and travel the world and experience stuff because it's so fun.
I want to go on a cruise with you. I want to see if we can make this happen at least for November, December. I know that if you win this, it's probably going to throw your plans kind of out of whack maybe, but I would like to go if we can plan for November, December because I want to go on a cruise.
I really want you to go on a longer cruise even if I don't win. But I'm winning.
Okay.
But I'm winning.
You are winning. Yeah, basically, we got shit going on. Okay, we got shit going on.
I've been manifesting that all fucking week.
We're excited. Okay, we have exciting things going on in our lives, and we're excited to talk about it. This is Chatterbox. We're gonna be chatting
next month, so that's
that's cool.
I'll just end it with that. Sorry, I had to get that out. So yes, exciting stuff. I'm hibernating right now.
We're actually trying to plan a trip for next month. We don't know where we're going yet. I started looking at going to see the Highway of the Giants, and it's you have to fly into San Francisco to get there, but it's along the coast. We thought about going to Oregon. We thought about going to where was it?
The Hot Springs is a good time to go right now. It's not that far away either.
And where?
The Hot Springs National Park.
Where's that?
I think it's in Arkansas. It's right over here.
Oh, okay.
The Hot Springs. And they say that early spring, you can get in the hot springs and there's a bunch of different baths and pools and.
That's cool, huh?
But
I don't know where we're going yet. I'm obsessed with the West Coast, so I would love to go out there. Whether we go to Utah or if we go to Oregon or something.
Let's take a night nap.
Okay, I'll have to look at. I haven't looked at Hot Springs National Park, but I keep looking out west because I love the West. If I could move to California, I fucking would. Let's just say he's not for that. He wants to stay in Ohio for some reason.
Trapper said he would be down to move out of the country, so he's down.
Oh, wow.
I said, in the future, would you be down to move out of the country? He's like, yeah. He didn't even, yeah.
So that'd be cool. For our topic today, we are going to finish part 2 of what we could not finish on the last recording because we were recording for over 2 hours. So we did not realize that this topic was going to be so extensive. There is a lot that went into this research. So we are going to give you guys the best that we can because we are doing our research organically. We are looking up things online.
Yes,
we're not using AI to write out our scripts for the podcast. We are literally doing this research ourselves. So we're going to get into today what it would be like for you to leave America and move to Africa, other parts of Asia, Australia, and Antarctica. So we have a lot to get into today. So we've already bullshitted for the first 12 minutes now, so
yeah, we sorry.
Hey, let's get into it. If you like the bullshit, cool. If you don't, skip over it. We still love you guys anyway. So we're going to talk about what it would be like for you as an American to move to Mauritius. So according to my research, there is no safe place for an American to move to on the entire continent of Africa. They suggest that you move to this tiny island that's off the coast of Africa, but it is really not safe for you as an American to move to the entire continent of Africa.
I've heard like other certain countries have not recommended travel. Like they don't recommend travel.
So I'm showing Kyla pictures of Mauritius right now. Literally just look up Mauritius and look up the images if you want to follow along with us. We do not have video format yet, but we will get to it eventually. But look at Mauritius. Look at how freaking beautiful. So this is how it looks.
It's like a New Zealand. It's Australia.
You have to go past Madagascar to get there. So
yeah, Madagascar is even fucking crazier than Australia, probably.
Mm-hmm. So see, Mauritius is this tiny little island in the Indian Ocean. So it's literally not even on the entire continent. So as an American, it's not recommended that you move anywhere within Africa. Although I do have a friend of mine who dated a girl from South Africa. And he said that it was generally very safe there for him as a white male. He said that he did not feel threatened. He said that people were smoking weed openly everywhere. Like,
well, being a male is different.
He said that he literally would wake up and walk to this little marketplace where they had like fruit stands and whatever. And he said that people would just be like smoking a doobie openly. Like,
I mean, I bet. I understand that. Yeah, for sure.
Culture there is like super laid back. Well, I guess we need to get back to our topic.
Might will just ramble.
Yeah, we be rambling. This is Chatterbox, okay? So, if you want to move to Mauritius, which first of all, look this up. This place is beautiful. You will need to apply for a work visa first. And Mauritius is the safest place to live in Africa, which I find crazy because it's literally not even on the entire continent. It's literally a tiny.
Is Haiti?
I thought Haiti was in the Caribbean.
Okay, it is. You're right. You're right.
Yes. Looking it up right
now. It's not safe to travel there right now.
Oh yeah, no.
Why? The Haitians, the fucking like I don't know. I was looking at places.
Yep, it is. It's in the Caribbean Sea.
When you said it, I knew you were talking about
the coast of Cuba.
Yeah, so I was just looking at places that aren't safe to travel, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I'm just random.
No, that's cool. I look up that shit too randomly.
Like Afghanistan, obviously, you don't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
The common sense moments.
Yeah, China's cool, but we're going to get into that. Mauritius is known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. It is known for its beautiful beaches, lagoons, tropical climate, as well as its cultural diversity. And there are also very low crime rates here. So that's the main reason why it's safe for Americans to move here. A family of 4 estimated cost of living monthly is about $2,000, and that's without rent. For a single person, monthly costs are about $585 American dollars, and that's without rent. So you're spending $5.85 in transportation, groceries, clothing. Cost of living in Mauritius is 44.9% lower than it is to live in the USA. Rent on average is 76% lower than it is in the US. The main language on the island is Mauritian Creole. And I encourage you, I did this while I was researching, look up a video of someone speaking Mauritian Creole. You would think that they're from Louisiana, but you have legitimately no idea what they're saying. It has this southern, but also kind of French. It's very interesting. I've been to New Orleans. Sorry,
No.
New Orleans. I've been to New Orleans about probably 10 or 12 times. I have been there so much because when I was in college, I used to go there throughout the semester and I would spend weekends there with my ex or just to go there and to get messed up, basically, is what I did. But I have been there many times and I loved the culture there. I loved the way that the people were. People were very kind there. I would say there's really cool abandoned places there too that I got to witness. I I love French culture. And I feel like Mauritians do have that French culture, and we'll get into that more as we go along. But getting a job in Mauritius is considered very easy, and jobs are typically in high demand. College has been free in Mauritius since 2019, so you can actually go there to college for free. Get your whole ass degree there. French is widely spoken here as well. It is the second dominant language, and the third most dominant language is English. So you have a very good chance of getting a job without having to speak another language.
Okay.
So high demand fields are sales and marketing, computing and IT, engineering, manufacturing and construction, healthcare and welfare, and anyone that has a degree in finance also has a really good chance of getting a job here. Some other career paths include nurses, healthcare professionals. They actually desperately need professional care assistants in the nursing homes. They are always looking for CNAs. So that's a really good route for a lot of people. There are a lot of construction jobs here. Accountants are in high demand, and also digital media marketers and graphic designers. So if you have like a good following, you could probably get a job here like marketing like one of their hotels or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's really cool. Average cost of living on average is 69% less than what it would be to live in the USA. Minimum wage averages at $258 a month. Okay, I messed that up. It was $258 a month. This is in US dollars. And their currency, which is MUR, is like what is 12,075 MUR. So I don't know, is that? Yeah, I would say I make way more than that. Holy shit. $300 a month?
But when you consider like other places that are cheaper, like that I've learned, even though they're like a cheaper cost of living, you're also making way, way less. Like way less. So it just depends. Like, and then if more expensive places, the salary there, you get paid more. Like,
Okay.
that's what I've kind of, from what your research and from my research, I'm kind of coming to thinking that like it just kind of depends on what your habits are, what you're spending, where you're spending, your transportation, all that all plays into factor on where you should just decide where you want to go, basically.
Okay.
You know?
It says to retire here, you would need at least $1,500. This is USD currency a month to live comfortably, unless you lived in a nursing home. If you chose to live in a nursing home, even if you were able-bodied, you would save so much money. Like if you were just like, I just want to retire and like settle into a nursing home. A lot of the nursing homes there are actually really nice because a lot of them have like these little porches and people will have like chairs sitting out. I actually like looked up like what some of them look like. They actually look really nice. But I don't know what it would be like to work there, but like to live there. Imagine going outside and you just see the beach from miles away from your little porch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Being old and elderly, I feel like would be easy. But I feel like I'd be bored.
Well, if you wanted to retire there, yes.
Yes.
But like if you were trying to live there, I would say Mauritius would be a good place if you would want to live somewhere where it would be easier to travel to Europe or to other parts of Africa very easily.
Yes.
But as an American, it's not generally very safe on the continent of Africa. We basically covered what we could from Mauritius. I'm very sorry that we didn't have a lot more to go into here, but because the island is so small, it's just, you're very limited to what job opportunities you can get. And as for moving there, you really just have to apply to get a visa because you cannot live there and not contribute to their economy in some way unless you are retired. So before we get into other parts of Asia, we are going to get into some interesting facts about Mauritius because this is my favorite part of this whole thing. Mauritius is a volcanic island. It first rose above the waters about 8 million years ago. It's known to Arab and Malay sailors as early as around the 10th century. Mauritius was first explored by the Portuguese in the 16th century and was settled into by the Dutch, French, and British in the 17th through 19th centuries. Dutch, French, and British people immigrated there, probably because of how good the economy is and how beautiful the location is. Imagine living there. Oh my God.
Just that's all you know.
That's just
pretty dope.
Beautiful.
I'd be an island girl.
Mm-hmm. Mauritius is one of the small number of countries that was named after a person. It was named after a Dutch prince named Prince Mauritius. Mauritius, then Nassau, in the 17th century, specifically. In 2017, Mauritius was named one of the only 4 countries in the world which had no involvement with any ongoing international or domestic conflicts, no tensions with any neighboring countries. The neighboring countries are Botswana, Chile, and Uruguay. When I used to work it was like a call center. When I said Chile wrong, I used to pronounce it Chile. But then I had one of our sales representatives from Chile actually got on the phone with me and told me, he was like, as an American, he's like, it's so embarrassing to hear how Americans pronounce our country. He's like, we're not Chile. He's like, we are Chile. It is the way we say it. And I'm like, I'll never call it Chile again.
Chile.
Chile. But I don't know. I just think it's very interesting how Chileans are very proud of their culture, and I would love to go see Chile sometime. But this is a very interesting fact. Mauritius is known. Sorry. Starting over. Mauritius was the only known habitat of the dodo bird. Dutch sailors first encountered the flightless bird in 1598. Within 100 years, ship rats were introduced to basically wipe out their species. So, I did not know that ship rats and other introduced animals from these Dutch countries wiped out the dodo bird. The dodo bird is a beautiful bird.
Dodo bird.
Dodo bird. I always think of Pinocchio for some reason. Wasn't Pinocchio, did they have a dodo on Pinocchio? Verifying this information right now. Hold on.
I think there was a dodo bird on like Up or something. Or no, wait. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, there is no dodo bird in
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
God! Okay, well, I guess then I am. Okay, hold on. Dodo bird in Disney movies.
That was in Up.
It's in Alice in Wonderland?
Yes, okay.
That's the only one! That's crazy! I know I had seen a dodo bird before. See, look! Him!
Yep. You weren't even young.
But Pinocchio and Alice in Wonderland were around the same time. Hold on. Pinocchio film year. 1940. Alice in Wonderland was done in 1951. So my brain was very close.
Yeah.
1940. I thought of a Disney movie, and my first thought was Pinocchio for the Dodo Bird, but it was Alice in Wonderland. But
because Pinocchio is not very colorful. It's pretty dark.
I never liked Pinocchio. I would literally tell.
It's messed up. It's basically them trafficking boys to an island.
Oh my god.
It's dark.
Dude, when I was a kid, I'm not.
You didn't really know that though when you were a kid.
But I didn't like the movie. Because when my mom would turn that on, because she would turn it on VHS, I would literally pull it out and she'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I don't want to watch this movie. I want to watch a different one." She's like, "It's just Pinocchio. What's your problem?" She would turn it on and I was like, "That movie is scary."
I didn't think of it like that when I was a kid, though.
I thought of it as scary.
I'm blind when I was a kid, so. But when you're older, you're like.
But I was like 8 or 9. Like, I never had a good feeling about Pinocchio. Pinocchio made me feel like almost like my stomach would go nuts.
I mean, they were lying to the boys, like, you'll get all these things.
Well, I guess I used to think that, I'm like, what if I lie and then my nose gets bigger and I don't know it?
God, I was talking to you at night. People were getting in your head.
I know, that was my own thoughts, though.
But someone was making you think that.
No, it was just me. I'm a weird child, okay? I'm still a weird child. I'm a weird adult. I turned into a weird adult.
Okay, well,
after the dodo fact, that was pretty interesting. You got to see my wheels turning for a second. Slavery was abolished in Mauritius since 1835, but British planters brought almost 500,000 laborers from India to work on their sugarcane fields from 1834 until 1920. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Indentured laborers from India. They took them there. That's nuts.
That is crazy. That happened a lot back then, though, where they transported people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's messed up. Not for that, but...
Yeah, there was no law of, oh, let me just kidnap all these people and let me take them into slavery. Like, who thought of that? Like,
some dark human being, for sure. But... anyways, we're going to get into the last few facts here. There is no official language of Mauritius, although English and French are the majority of the population. 85% of the population speaks Creole, and which is a French-based patois. I have no idea what...
patois.
Mauritius is the only African country to have a high Hindu majority of 48% of the population. Freedom of religion is a constitutional right, and the second largest religious category is the Roman Catholics, and then the Muslims by 17%, and by Roman Catholics it's about 26%. So almost half of the population is Hindu, which is pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
Residential population is 100,263,000. It is the highest population density in Africa and also one of the highest in the world for such a small island. So, pretty cool. The life expectancy for Mauritius men and women is 70 years for men and 75 for women, which is a higher than the world average and is actually well above the average for other African countries. So if you live here, you're expected to have a long life, probably because it's pretty stress-free.
Or it's also you're not open to all of these diseases since you're on an island, a smaller island, rather than being on the big continent.
The last fact that we have is, which is one of the most interesting, apparently there is an underwater waterfall that looks like from the air is a heart-stopping canyon that cracks open meters from the peninsula. Sadly, the phenomenon is an optical illusion because it's caused by runoff sand and silt, but it does appear from high up that there is an underwater waterfall.
It's pretty cool.
It's really cool. Look it up. It is, oh my God, imagine getting in a plane and seeing this shit. It's wild.
I want you to think it's illusion.
I want to.
Maybe it is a hole.
Go in.
Well, what about that thing I just told you about in the Philippines or somewhere? There's like a under cave that's like as tall as skyscrapers and has its own water systems and own lakes and rivers. It's like crazy. And there's an entrance to it, and it takes days, like, to get to where it would start. Like, you have to go back and like go in complete darkness. Like, you have to take your time to get through this cave.
Huh.
I need to look more into it, but no, I just learned about it today. So literally today or yesterday. So it's a discovery. It was a just recent discovery, like within the past couple years.
Yeah, you'll have to show me. All right, now we are going to get into our next country, which we're going to be talking about China. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Shanghai. And this is one of my favorites that I found throughout this research. I find China's culture absolutely fascinating. So, can an American legally move to China? Specifically Shanghai? Yes, you can. But you are required to obtain a visa to enter mainland China, and the main language here is Standard Chinese, which is Mandarin. Population is 1.4 billion. And let me just verify. 1.4 billion people is the amount of people for China entirely as a whole. In Shanghai specifically, it's about 24 million, which we're going to compare that to the US really quick. Population of the US. Population of the US is 334.9 million. So they actually have more people in the little country of China than we have in our entire surface area. That's pretty
crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
Why they probably have the freaking limit.
Mm-hmm.
For children.
Cost of living in China is typically 50% cheaper from the prices that you will see in America. One-bedroom apartment in Shanghai can be from $500 to $700, while in the U.S., a one-bedroom apartment can be from $700 to $1,700. Messed up.
Yeah, I know.
A 2-course meal for 2 people is around $30. A 2-course meal for the U.S. is about $50 to $75.
Yeah, that is true.
You can't go to Olive Garden for 2 people and not spend more than $30. It's impossible.
Yeah, even if you get the soup salad breadsticks, it's still almost $30.
Mm-hmm. And Olive Garden's not even like a super nice restaurant. It's just
once you get older, you're like, this isn't like what like when you're a kid, you're like, oh my god, nice. Mm-hmm. But then you get older, you're like, well, I'm not going here for my birthday anymore.
But Shanghai is the largest city on Earth with 24 million people. It's the world's busiest container port. The stock exchange here is also the 3rd largest. Shanghai is noted as an expensive city to live. You will find a lot of apartments here for rent and newly built homes. The best thing that you can do as an American is to get in touch with a real estate agent before buying a place. Language barriers here can be very tough, and if Mandarin is not your first language, which for most Americans it is not, you're going to need a realtor who is bilingual.
Huh.
But the renting market in Shanghai is huge. You can actually pick between completely furnished apartments and unfurnished apartments.
You know, a lot of, like, they do that. A lot of other countries do the full furnished apartments. That's so nice. That way you don't gotta, when you move, you take all of it with you, and it's nice.
Yeah.
That's what keeps us from moving. I'm like, oh, I just spent all this money on this stuff, and I'm like...
Refurnishing your house is so expensive.
Yeah. That's nice. And it's cheap. The furnished ones are cheap in other countries.
Yep. Especially in, I think it's,
Asian countries.
In Nordic countries, their furniture is really nice. Like, you can get, like, a super modern looking apartment. But I don't think it's very cheap. But I didn't look into the Nordic countries other than Greenland, I think. We can only pick so many countries, okay? Common jobs for foreigners in China include an English teacher, You must have a bachelor's degree and a TEFL or TESOL certification. We talked about that certification for what it would be like if you were to move to Italy. Other jobs include software engineer, IT specialist, marketing or content creator, graphic designers, engineering, hospitality and tourism, business and trade, management and consulting, translator or interpreter, healthcare professionals, or artists and performers. In all of these fields that I just mentioned, speaking Mandarin is typically required, unless you find a tourism job. Looking for a job here is also very time consuming. Somebody from Reddit said about 1 year ago, keep in mind that due to government regulations, you are only allowed to work in a field in which you have 2 or more years of experience. Now we will look into colleges. College in China is not free. It's typically probably just as much as it would be for an American, unless you get a scholarship, which scholarships are available for anyone to apply. I'm only going to name 4 universities in China that do not have an application fee. So you can apply at Northwest Agriculture and Forestry University. You can apply at Nanjing University of Aeronautics and Astronautics, the NUAA. That's a really good college. The Northeast Normal University and the Renmin University of China. So if you would like to apply to go to a Chinese university, you can actually look up the list of Chinese universities that do not have an application fee. A family of 4 estimated cost in China is about $2,281, and that is without rent. A single person's estimated monthly cost without rent is $623.
My gosh.
Shanghai is 27% less than Cincinnati's cost of living expenses, and that is without rent.
Chili, baby.
What the fuck? That was so random.
Well, Cincinnati, chili. I mean, that's what I go to when I think of chili.
I actually had Skyline the other day, and I haven't had Skyline in months, but I was just feeling it the other day.
I love Skyline. I make it often.
It is pretty good, although I was not born a Cincinnati or tri-state area.
What we had was McDonald's, Subway, and Skyline, and a couple pizza places.
Oh my God. Hey, when I lived in Missouri, it was like that. We were very limited. But here where I live, I have a lot of options, at least where I live. But now we're going to get into some interesting facts about China. And we're also going to get into some interesting facts about their culture, which I found fascinating. Population in China is the second most populous country in the world after India. I think it's so cool.
I don't know if I'd go there.
Maybe
not for maybe later in life, but after I get all the ones I actually want to go to, because I've lately been seeing videos of the street food. I don't think I'd go eat the street food. I'd go inside the restaurants because I was fainting watching these videos of them making food on the street. Oh my God. No type of sanitary whatsoever. It's way, I never, listen, I am not judging. This is their culture. They don't have many options. They don't have supplies like other countries would have. They got to do what they got to do to make the money, and the men like it there. I mean, I'm not knocking it. I just personally would be I'm already nervous about Thailand food, and I'm gonna try Thai food because no matter what, when you're not from the country, your stomach can potentially get upset from the type of the food and the way they make it, no matter what. You have to be prepared for that.
I had a friend who went to the Amalfi Coast just this past year in the summertime, and she literally, so she's been to Italy before, but this time, because she was off the Amalfi Coast, she thought that getting fish would be a good idea. So she got a salmon, and then her boyfriend, he just got some spaghetti and meatballs or something, something very basic Italian food anyways. When she ate that salmon, she got so sick, and she said for the entire rest of their trip, she said that she tried Italian medicine to help her stomach. She said she threw up for 3 days straight.
They say you should take it before. if you're gonna like go out and eat, like I did this research for Thailand, this is why. There is so much research that goes into traveling to Thailand. I was gonna go in March, but I changed it to next March so I can kind of plan better. But like they recommend you take a specific pill or some type of like a pill or a vitamin like before you go to help your stomach kind of deal with the type of food that you're ingesting that it's not used to, basically.
Very
to
cool.
prevent you from, you know, potentially getting sick and ruining your fucking whole trip.
Yeah, because
I have what you don't want. You don't want it to.
She said that they had to miss 2 of their, so they had a boat tour of Amalfi. They missed that because she said that she was literally throwing up and could not get out the door. And then she said that there was, they had like a scuba diving thing that they had also planned.
Is she scuba diving certified?
I don't know.
Or is it just snorkeling?
It might have been just snorkeling.
That's cool. I want to get scuba diving certified.
I would too.
Classes for it.
I would love to do that with you.
There's like 2 different. I already looked into the process. It's like a 2-step process. It's like in class, and then you have to go in the water and.
Dude, I would do that with you 100% because I.
Me and Travis talked about it. I mean, so we should all do it. It's a little expensive, but when you go, I mean, you have to have these certifications when you go on certain places to be able to go scuba diving.
No, so, I want to
be able to go to the Great Barrier Reef, to go scuba diving, and Cozumel also has a great reef.
Let me know when you decide to get classes because I would like to go with you because I would like to be a part of that.
Okay.
But anyways, back to China. We are going to get into Thailand. That is one of the topics that Kyla researched. We are about to finish with some interesting facts about China. And actually, we're not about to finish. We have some culture stuff that we're going to talk about. But after this, then we will get into talking about Thailand and Australia. And then Antarctica. So the capital of China is Beijing, if you didn't know. China is marked by various dynasties, such as the Qin, Han, Tang, Song, and Ming, and Jing dynasties. So
okay.
So did you learn about these in school?
I'm sure, maybe.
I remember learning about this in school, and I would get so confused because we would have to, in my school, we would have to identify the various dynasties according to their characteristics, and I would always mix them up. But I loved history in school. I wish I remembered everything about these dynasties, but maybe that'll be a future episode when we cover the dynasties of China, because that'd actually be pretty cool. We're going to add that to the list. Anyways, the Great Wall of China is one of the most famous landmarks in the world, and it was built to protect itself against invasions from nomadic tribes. The Terracotta Army is located in Xian. I cannot pronounce that. It's a collection of terracotta sculptures representing the armies of the Qin Shi Huang, first emperor of China.
Reminds me of some Milan shit.
I am probably butchering this so bad, and if you know how to pronounce these names, and I mean I obviously don't. I'm so
judgment.
Sorry.
Shun Hong. Like, it's fine. You'll be all right.
I'm really upset when you mispronounce this.
But what the thing is, you're here to teach us. We want to learn as well about this podcasting is for us to as well learn about other cultures. I mean, that's also why I want to travel. So the more I learn, the more I can talk appropriately and all that crap. So yes, please inform us. We would love it. Let me be wrong so you can inform me.
Yes, inform us, please. Email us. We need it. We need interaction with our platform.
Merci.
The longest river in China is the Yangtze River. Yangtze River? It is the 3rd largest river in the world. Obviously, I can't pronounce this shit correctly, but I'm trying my best.
Kind of like Yahtzee, but young.
Yangtze.
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 China has experienced rapid economic growth and is now the 2nd largest economy in the world.
I bet. I agree. I wouldn't know that.
China is also a major player in global trade and exporting a wide range of products around the world. Probably everything that you're wearing right now is from China.
Yeah, I don't think, not many, mostly, I try to avoid, but I try to avoid buying from China because I feel like it's all fast money.
But if you buy from Shein, you're buying from China.
Well, I kind of stopped buying from Shein, so
I haven't been buying from Shein, but there are things that I need as of lately.
I'm just gonna try to avoid getting on there. The only reason I did last was to buy the girls that bikini for them, but that was the only thing.
I tend to buy my Christmas gifts from there, and I do tend to buy, like, if I do need, like, some quick workout stuff, I will get it from there, and I do wear it.
I'm trying to get away from polyester.
Yeah.
Really bad. Like, I mean, if I have stuff that's polyester, I'm gonna wear it, but if I'm gonna avoid buying it from, because it, like, you've heard the polyester, what it can do.
I didn't.
Okay, well, we'll get into that later. It's scary. But basically, traps heat can cause issues with, like, having babies and crap. Like, it affects you. Like, it's not good. Like, polyester is bad. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
That could be something we talk about, but it's...
Yeah, we'll add that to the list.
It's definitely freaked me out to where I don't want to buy polyester, and I avoid it. Yeah. For sure. Cotton, spandex. Stick with the basic stuff, the breathable stuff that's not going to fucking suffocate your organs. Okay?
Yeah.
It's real. It seeps into your body.
Oh my god.
It's real. It's kind of like the forever chemical type shit. Like, once you wash it, they can float in the air.
I'm going to go into a TikTok rabbit hole tonight about that. Remind me.
Yeah, well, it'll scare you, so good luck, because all your clothing is probably polyester. Mine was. Yeah, I have a lot. You were led to believe growing up that polyester was a good material. That's the scariest fucking word of it all. Anyway, yeah, it's off topic, but yeah, that's just so you know.
All right, polyester is poison.
It is?
Shit. All right, look it up. Look it up on TikTok or YouTube. Whatever.
Look up the polyester particles. I swear to God. They're just not even particles. Just polyester and why it's bad for you.
We have 3 more facts before we get into our culture. China cuisine. Specialties include the Peking duck.
Ooh,
Sichuan pot.
Ooh, like from Rick and Morty.
And the Cantonese dim sum.
What's that?
I don't know, but I want to eat all of that.
I would eat the middle one for sure, the hot pot. I've heard of hot pots.
I feel like I make more Asian dishes than I do American dishes because American food is just so boring. Like, it literally is. Like, I made Japanese souffle pancakes this morning. It was so good. Look it up on TikTok. It's where I find all my recipes. Literally, Japanese souffle pancakes. We made Korean barbecue the other night. That was awesome. We've been eating sushi bowls, which, yes, that's an Americanized version, but...
That was my idea.
Yes, dude. Asian dishes are literally what, like, I make throughout the week because, like, I don't want steak and potatoes and freaking mac and cheese. Like, I want real food. Like,
yeah, I don't eat mac and cheese, really.
I don't either.
The only time I eat it is when I go over my brother's.
No,
or for, like, an event.
We stopped getting that, and it was mainly Eric buying it, but I literally told him, I'm like, if you're going to get mac and cheese, you need to get the chickpea mac and cheese because chickpea's actually good for your boobies.
Or just buy the real quality Italian that's not fake, like, because Italians eat, like, you know, the good stuff, and they're not, like, don't get the fake. If you look at pasta, there are different pastas. There's the ones that are from Italy. Like, when I go to Aldi, I get the Italian brand. I don't get the, like, main brands you would see. What's that blue brand? I know about that everybody gets, the Barilla.
Yes,
it's like Barilla. I don't get that.
Yeah. We.
I think that's not organic. That's good. That's probably one of the better brands compared to them. But just look for, like, the back of the ingredients. It should just be pasta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not a big deal to eat pasta, you know.
Yeah, every once in a while, even if it's like once a week, it's not terrible.
Eat pasta, then eat McDonald's, okay?
Yeah. Jesus, yes.
What? Like, don't justify it. Like,
yeah, it's not bad if it's not for every meal, but if it's like 1 or 2 meals out of the week, it's not bad.
It's better. I mean, compared to what people eat here.
Especially
eating pasta every day would not be a bad thing for them if they got the right pasta.
If you packed it down with protein too, because you can also get protein pastas, and those are actually pretty decent if you're trying to get more protein in your diet. But anyways, we're off topic again. China is actually the birthplace of tea and has a rich tea culture, including the green, black, white, and oolong teas. So if you want to get really good quality tea, you should order some that's actually made in China. You would probably get way more flavorful than you would get in the US. Or if you're ever visiting China, go to a cafe somewhere and get a cup of tea.
I want to go to China.
I do too.
Specifically Japan. Also because I want to see a lot of Studio Ghibli stuff.
Hey, Japan's one of our next ones. We're going to get into that. And the last fact about China is China is home to the panda. China is home to the giant panda, and it is also a national symbol, and it is a beloved animal worldwide. And if you look up a picture of a panda, they look pretty cute. I love a panda.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen a picture of a panda, where
have you been? Now we're going to get into some culture facts, which I found literally so interesting. Spitting, yawning, grunting, and burping are normal behaviors when you eat out in China. It's pretty crazy.
It's kind of like eating really fast in Asian culture shows that you like it. Haven't you seen this video where they're like,
mm-hmm.
It's like a real thing.
Yeah.
You eat slow, you're like, you not like it? Hurry up.
Yeah, but if you're like in a really, really nice like Italian restaurant in America and you just like burp really loud at your table, all these people around would be like horrified. They'd be like, oh my God.
I'd rather it be Olive Garden than fucking Maggiano's. I don't know.
That's kind of funny to me. In China, no one has cash. They all use Alipay or WeChat to pay. Very cool.
Cashless society.
Just using an app to pay. That's
scary. Whenever everything goes down, where's your money go?
Mm-hmm. It seems very convenient, though, because everybody has their phone on them at all times.
But it's just like, I'm not saying this would ever happen, but if we were to, like, completely lose internet and just go completely
dark, yeah.
What would the fuck they do? Everything they had would be gone.
Yeah.
Like that. That stuff still freaks me out.
Yeah. Honestly, I can see the convenience, but I can also see, the scary part about it. I can see both sides. China has the world's second largest army of people, which is 2 million people, and that is actually the population of Paris. So, if you weren't scared before, you should be scared now. Every single panda in the world belongs to China. China invented paper. There are also 35 million people in China that still live in caves because they do not make enough money to afford housing. That's nuts.
That's kind of cool, though. I like that. That's probably why they live longer, because they're not living in society. Because people in China, don't some of the oldest people in the world live in China?
Yeah, I mean, I think the oldest person in the world was Chinese. I think
that's what I'm saying. I've seen that some of the oldest people in the world are from China. They live till old ass ages. They're very healthy.
Oldest Chinese person was a woman who died at 135 years old in 2021. That's crazy.
I told you.
She was born during the Qing dynasty in 1886.
That's what I'm trying to say. She probably lived somewhere very,
that's
small.
Crazy.
Not you know?
The oldest Chinese citizen to ever live was a 256-year-old who was born in 1678. That's crazy. 256.
I don't know. They live a lot longer than, I don't know what it is.
Wow. That's nuts. We could do a whole episode on that, I feel like. It's crazy. China is such a huge country that there is only one time zone, and the sun rises as late as 10 a.m. for some places. The Chinese leaders decided in 1949 to use only Beijing time. So even though the entire country had many different time zones, they literally was just like, nope, we're just going to use one. I wish the U.S. was on one time zone. That'd be cool if we all got off work at the same time.
But it was different daylights.
It would be different daylights, but it would be cool. Chinese New Year, which actually just got done being celebrated in China as of right now. Chinese New Year's is normally celebrated from end of January into February. So, literally right now. It lasts around 15 days. Almost nobody is working, and everybody is able to have 15 days off of work to spend time with their families. Nothing can compare to the entire country getting together to celebrate a new year for 2 weeks. And it is actually more popular for Chinese New Year than it is for Christmas.
Yeah, I believe that. Their New Year's are a lot more popular.
Want to go. I want to go to China during Chinese New Year. Even though no businesses would be open, we would get to experience like the parades and stuff. Like,
I think the culture and like all the dragons and stuff. I think of Milan and stuff.
As of right now, couples can have up to 3 children per government laws, but in 2016, from 1980 until 2016, couples could actually only have 1 child.
So it did change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least it changed.
Yep. Now we are going to get into what it would be like for you as an American to move to Thailand. So Kyla did a lot of research on moving to Thailand as an American. Thailand is one of her most favorite places that she would like to see first in the world, which she will be seeing next March. But she did this research to also help herself out when she moves to Thailand. Just kidding.
Hey, well, when I think about moving, I don't think for like, and this is what's good about the visas and stuff is like there's different periods of time where you can stay in a country and stuff and live there. So
you're not stuck forever.
Yeah, and that's also what I don't want to be is stuck in America with a house, paying the rent. Like, I know that's everyone, and everyone has their own dream, and that's okay. You can have that dream. My dream is to just move around and get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, Kyla's a Sagittarius, and she's not happy just staying put. She has to see the entire world, and I love that about Kyla. So we're gonna let Kyla talk about what it would be like for you as an American to move to Thailand.
Okay, so mine's a little, rounded up differently than hers, but you're going to get some good information out of this. So let's go. So I did some comparisons between Thailand and the U.S. I got this from Numbeo. It's a very common site that you can do averages for comparisons.
I use that for some of mine, yeah.
So it says the cost of living in the U.S. is 89.1% higher than in Thailand. This is without rent. Cost of living, including rent in the U.S., is 121.2% higher than in Thailand. I mean, that goes over like normal percentages. I was like,
my God.
Rent prices are 234.8% higher in the U.S. than in Thailand. Restaurant prices in the U.S. are 215.6% higher than in Thailand.
Oh my God. So like what is their restaurant like $2.50?
It's very cheap, very cheap.
Wow.
And I mean it says that it could range from $1 to $3 US dollars on a regular meal. I say like if you want to do like you want to get like a burger, something else other than Thai food, you're thinking maybe at most $30.
Okay, wow. So like Thai food is like the cheapest you're gonna find.
For sure. And I have some information kind of for that. I was just kind of trying to remember what it was. Prices in the US are 74.7% higher than in Thailand. So I went on a website called livingcost.org and they have all kinds of comparisons of cities, of per city for Thailand, per city for the US. And I clicked a random city and I clicked one that I knew like the closest one, which is Louisville, Kentucky. And I compared it to Bangkok, and it says that Bangkok is 47% less expensive there than on average. So about 50% cheaper. So that's like right next door to us. I would assume that's very comparable in cost of living. It says that if you lived in Thailand instead of the U.S., you would be, this is an interesting fact, you would be actually 72.4% less likely to be obese than in the U.S. 36.2% of adults are obese as of 2016 in the U.S. And in Thailand, that number is only 10%. This is in 2016. So, I mean, kind of old, but still, that number is very different.
I would say it's that's pretty recent. I mean,
yeah, that's crazy, I think.
Yeah.
In the United States, 3.6% of adults are employed as of 2023, and in Thailand, that number is 0.9%. You are 74.9% less likely to be employed. So you have a higher chance of being employed, less likely.
Oh, okay.
So like the unemployment rate here in the U.S. is a lot higher. So
it's very easy to find a job in Thailand.
Yes. 0.9%. You are 74.9% less likely to be employed. So like you have a higher chance of getting a job like in the US, and then that the people that are unemployed in Thailand is 0.9%.
Oh, okay.
So sorry, the way that I was like wording it might have been confusing. So, so this guy named Jonathan Millman, he lives in Thailand. He's from the US. I found this from a website called expatden.com, and he basically is describing what his experience has been in Thailand. I should have been on a video.
I just spilled my drink all over myself,
she
bro.
took a drink and didn't even go to her mouth. It just was like, it's so funny.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. That is so funny. Okay, so we're gonna get into rent in Thailand. So when you're comparing minimum wage salary in the US, which is average about $2,400 before taxes for the US. Okay, that's average. And I'm about that. That's about me.
Okay.
I would say. I kind of like did my own little example and experiment, and I calculated. The typical minimum wage salary in Thailand is about $300 to $400 a month. And this is what I was trying to tell you earlier. Even though it's cheaper, you're making way less. Now American expats, which we talked about before, and which, like we described, if you didn't know, it's basically short for expatriate, which is a person who resides outside their country of citizenship. It often refers to a professional skilled worker, student from an affluent country, and they may move to another country long term to live or work. So an expat. They would typically make more if they're doing like any IT work, no matter what. But if you're working like a normal job, that's not online, $300 to $400 a month.
That's not bad. I mean, especially if you're only paying like $1 to $3 for your meals.
Oh yeah, and then it says a typical one-bedroom studio can be as low to $60 to $300, depending on the location and comforts of the apartment. The ones that are usually $60 don't come with air conditioning, and the comfort may lack. So if you're getting a really cheap one, it's going to be very, very basic.
Oh my god, yeah. Imagine living on the ocean and not having an air conditioner. That'd be so hot.
And then since there's such a broad spectrum of affordable apartments, even on minimum wage salary, Thai people can afford a roof over their heads, afford to eat adequately, and still have a budget for essential needs, even though their salary is so much less. So when we were talking about like affordable apartments and whatnot, kind of you're paying for utilities, water is relatively inexpensive, usually costing about $3 to $8 per month. This is everything I've done is translated to US dollars. So depending on how the landlord charges, electricity can add up to the typical cost of electricity is about THB4 per unit. That is approximately 0.12 cents, so 12 cents per unit. That can be, I guess, kind of expensive. My electric bill ranges from $30 to $100 a month. This wide fluctuation usually depends on the amount of air conditioning that is used, which can add up when it's hotter, like throughout the year.
Okay.
So it might seem cheap, like the units, but he was basically saying like it can be, in terms of a Thai rent, that can be expensive.
Yeah,
the bill can add up.
Okay. Yeah, especially if you're an American and you're used to constant air conditioning. But if you're working, you wouldn't turn on your air conditioner until you came home.
If it says water is $3 to $8 per month, and then it goes from $30 to $100 for electric, I mean that's a good difference. Yeah, in prices for Thai money. Mm-hmm. A typical Thai meal can cost anywhere from $1 to $3 if you eat three times a day. That is an average approximately to $4.50 per day. If you were to eat Thai food.
That's nice. I wish our groceries cost $4 per day.
Okay, so I was completely wrong. I was just like, I did this research last week. So if you get tired of Thai food, Western dining can cost anywhere from $3 to $10 a meal, not 30.
Okay.
$3 to $10 at most.
Okay. So if you want like a burger and fries.
So if you're spending the highest amount, $10, you're gonna spend $30 a day if you're eating like 10.
Yeah.
But that's probably not gonna happen. Like you're not gonna spend that much.
Yeah. You would just adapt to the culture.
So it's really, really cheap. This is why I want to travel there, because everything it's mentioned that it's one of the most budget friendly, cheapest places to visit. And the culture is just so beautiful. Like they have so many Buddhist temples and crap. Mm-hmm. So
beautiful. It's beautiful. It's welcoming. It's inviting. Like
it's very nice. They welcome foreigners for sure.
It's not one of my top 5 countries that I want to go to.
It wasn't mine originally. Never was until recently.
Everybody has their things.
That's crazy though. Growing up, I never wanted to go. Like never thought about Thailand. as much as I do now. But I think learning how affordable it is and how much you can really do. Like you go do a boat ride and you're gonna spend not even over $100 for like a full boat tour.
Yeah.
Like you'll not spend that much. Oh, sorry. Basically, we'll get back to the food. If you budget pretty well and avoid additional costs, just getting water rather than getting like a soft drink at mealtime, you could typically have a food budget from $135 to $175 per month in US dollars.
It's not bad.
Well, that's if you just don't buy pop and stuff. Like me and Trapper just drink water.
Yeah, same.
It actually says the quality. Okay, so housing quality is a little different. It says that most Thai buildings are constructed from solid materials such as concrete, breaking wood, unlike American apartments that tend to be built from drywall and other less substantial material. So the material is also better made, more solid material. They do not come with kitchen equipment. Some Thai houses and apartments do not come with kitchen equipment. So
so like having like a stove.
Yeah, so like a majority of apartments in Thai come fully furnished as an American. You may find the bed is a little too hard. The bed might be a little too hard. So it's basically, you might not get an oven, a microwave. So you would get one of those like little kettle. You ever see people make those little like square one? That's what you would essentially want to buy in Thailand.
Okay, like a microwave oven.
No, like those little like kettle one stop. Those little kettle things, like those people that
like little hot pot kind of thing.
Just like right on my stove, just a single one.
Oh wow, a single burner.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so like that's what you would want to buy. Like you would basically have to like find ways of cooking because they don't have any of that stuff. So
wow,
that's what it says.
So like buying a stove is like probably not very easy. Which speaking of, I'm literally
you probably wouldn't be able. It probably would maybe not even have the ability to hold that much wattage of electricity.
Yeah,
in a sense.
That's crazy. You know what's funny? We're literally going to buy a stove tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, we have the budget and we're going to go to this place and buy a new stove because we literally only have one burner that works right now. You know how hard it is to cook dinner because the other one, it goes from high to low, no matter what setting we have it on. So things just take so long to cook. We have one that's broken. The other one's not working. So now we're literally going to buy a stove tomorrow. So
well, at least you can't forget now because I brought the stove.
Well, it's just crazy that like there are houses that don't even come with stoves at all. Like,
and they have to learn how to cook. They probably have different forms of cooking, like hot pots. Like they don't use even an oven. Like, I mean,
I used to have a hot pot in college.
I mean, it seems that the way their apartments are set up is very different. Like the beds aren't comfortable, and it says apartments in Thailand come fully furnished as an American. So when you move in, you don't have to bring anything. It might be really hard and uncomfortable, and then you might not find a bathroom as large and comfortable as your bathroom back in America. Kind of like
they have very small corner showers.
It says that
very small.
It says that like the bathroom doesn't have a shower divider like you would be used to in an American apartment. The shower was placed right over the toilet. The toilet is in the shower. That's your bathroom. You take a shit where you're showering. Basically, it's not separated, and that's normal. They made it seem normal for us to have that, which is weird. I don't know if I would like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to like find a picture of it right now, and it's like literally not showing me on cheap showers in Thailand apartment. Trying to just search images.
It looks like it's all in it right there.
Yeah, it's just like a little corner though. I mean, that's a really big one.
No, I mean maybe these is in more rural places, but we need to find an actual website that's like listing.
Yeah,
instead of images. But yeah, it basically doesn't have a shower divider like you would be used to. And then depending on the house, some plumbing systems are driven by an electric pump. Some are directly connected to the cities. Electric pump.
I'm trying to find a fucking like apartment rental. And it's only showing me like vacations. Hold on, you just keep going.
Maybe you need to be on a different server, like because since it's Thai. You wouldn't be able to use American servers. Like, you would have to find, like, one of those, whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I'm looking up thailandproperty.com. Okay. Anyway, you continue.
So it says, depending on the house, some plumbing systems are driven by an electric pump, somewhere directly connected to the cities. Plumbing and infrastructure, so that depending on the plumbing, you may not find water pressure as strong as you were to depend on the age of the building system. So just depending on where you're living in Thailand, water pressure might not be as good. So I know one thing, I get pissed if the water pressure is not good. I would rather just jump in the damn lake at that point.
All right, I just found a house in Thailand, it's a 2-bedroom apartment, actually, and that's the shower. Okay,
and
so
there's the toilet.
It's literally right next to the toilet.
It's inside it. No, it's inside of it.
There's no divider.
So the toilet is literally in where the shower is.
Yep. And it is, in their currency, it's 76,000 a month. But that's in their currency.
That'd be really cheap. You can transfer it back. It's really cheap. It says, unlike most American houses which use gas water heaters to make hot water, Thailand uses electric wall-mounted heaters. These sometimes limit the amount of hot water you'll get that impacts those who enjoy long hot showers.
Oh wow, so that's actually $2,242 a month for a 2-bedroom.
Where's it at?
Where was it at? Well, we might never know. Wait, Phuket.
Yeah, it's on the island of Phuket. Phuket's a little more expensive.
That's crazy. $2,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment.
And I bet you that's not even a good website to look. We need to look for. It'd be cool if we knew how to look on real websites that.
This is just the first one that came up. It was just thailandproperty.com. So there are probably other ones, but that was just an example. So, anyways,
if you were to live in such a hot climate, you might need. So when I was saying earlier, you might not get a long hot shower, but if you live in such a hot climate, it might not matter as much.
Yeah.
To have a long hot shower, you might want a fucking cold shower, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
I guess bathtubs are also hard to find in most Thai accommodations, with the exception of some hotels, high-end apartments, and the upper echelon of expensive house. Bathtubs are few far in between.
Oh my god.
So you're not going to find a bathtub. It's just a shower and a toilet.
Huh. Bathtub's not a necessity for me, but if you have kids, it probably is best if you have a tub. But I mean, that's probably
that's why I realize that kids get showered in other ways.
I know they do, but it's just nice for them to be able to take a bath. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
just find a little storage bin, put it in the shower, and fill it up with water.
Most families do.
Yeah, you find ways, and then you're showering with your kid, making it closer. It says basically in a rule of thumb in Thailand is that you usually get what you pay for. You should have no problem finding accommodation that meet your level of comfort and expectations if you have the allotted budget. It says with quality of food, if you enjoy beverages such as beer or wine with your meal, you'll need to boost your budget if you live in a big city in Thailand, kind of like Bangkok as such, or Krabi. Krabi's small, Phuket. And Bangkok.
So like the very touristy areas, it's going to be more expensive.
But even then, it's cheap. Even then, they're still cheaper. You will have no problem finding food from all over the world, such as Mexican food, Italian food, Japanese food, Korean food, steakhouses, hamburger joints.
Cool.
So, I mean, if you get tired of Thai food,
you
do still have options. Like, you wouldn't be like, oh my god, I'm fucking sick of this shit. Like, you could still eat your normal other food. Typical dish is usually cost from $1 to $3. If you're wanting foreign food and fine dining, it can range anywhere from $5 to $30 per person. So still not that much, but still, I guess, considered more expensive there.
Okay.
With healthcare, it's comforting to know that healthcare in Thailand is very affordable and accessible. And big cities like Bangkok and Chiang Mai are just to name a few. It can cost to see a doctor anywhere from $15 to $20, depending on whether you seek care in a government or a private hospital. So I guess it depends on which.
Yeah, private hospitals, from my previous research, are generally more expensive than a public hospital.
Yes, that is true. And they also might offer different benefits and stuff like that.
You might find better care at a private healthcare facility
because you're paying more for it. So yeah, rather than, but you still get more out of these other countries for both of these rather than you would in America, which is crazy. You know?
Yeah.
You could pay at least $100 for a complete physical, including blood work. Basic x-rays can range from $10 to $30, depending on the location it is needed. So that's freaking fairly cheap compared to here.
Would be nice.
If you're concerned about more severe health problems and surgeries, I recommend purchasing a reputable health insurance plan to help avoid out-of-pocket medical expenses. From what I was reading about the exceptional quality of healthcare that compares to the state is at a fraction of the cost.
Pretty good.
I also kind of learn a bit about pharmacies. This is kind of cool though, which kind of also intertwines with needing to go to the doctor or to get medication or just to be diagnosed. It says that in most cases, Thai pharmacists are educated and trained to prescribe essential medications without the need to visit a doctor. Unlike American medicine, it is very affordable and won't cost you countless dollars for a prescription. Basic medicines such as antibiotics are typically under $2. This is US dollars per prescription.
Huh.
So instead of wasting money for a visit and then the evaluation, and then if they do some type of test, you could potentially just go to a pharmacist and they could say, okay, this is what's...
Yeah. It's kind of like being the middleman because you're paying here in the U.S., you're paying the doctor to diagnose and you're paying the pharmacist for the drugs. There you could just bypass the doctor. That's really cool. It's very interesting.
So with job opportunities, it says a lot of expats here in Thailand are teachers. Very vast majority are teachers. However, not everyone is qualified or interested in teaching. It says countless digital nomads use their skills and expertise to make a very comfortable living here in Thailand, from IT work and video editing to freelance writing. If you possess the skills and attributes, you can thrive financially as an expat in Thailand. However, no matter your source of income, be aware of the requirement to legally work in Thailand, such as a work permit and tax obligations. It says whether you operate a business or work under a Thai work permit, you'll be responsible for paying your taxes in Thailand and also America. Like we talked about in the last one, you have to pay your taxes and your dues both ways.
If you're a dual citizen. Unless you become a permanent resident of Thailand, it would probably be different, but I don't know.
It can basically say taxes can be just as confusing in America as in Thailand. So you basically just want to get someone to help you out. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be doing that all on your own, especially if you're just going that. That's just a lot more work. It's recommended to consult a professional to avoid any mistakes and penalties to ensure that all your taxes are processed correctly. Regardless of whether you make your money in Thailand or America as a U.S. citizen, you're still obligated to pay your taxes to the IRS. So talk to your professional in Thailand and U.S. to ensure all your taxes are up to code. And with I'm going to kind of get into the work permits real quick. And visa. For a transit visa, it's $35. A tourist visa is $40. You don't even need a visa if you're going to be here for fewer than 60 days. You can just come. But they strongly recommend your passport be up to date. Yeah, so this visa you can basically extend that 60-day visa for an additional 30 days if you're working.
That's cool.
They have a 60-day work visa for tourism and business, so you don't really need crazy paperwork like some countries need. Haven't you noticed that how some require a lot more?
It would be really cool if you moved to Thailand to work at a American owned yoga studio. Uh-huh. That would be really cool. Because you could work there for just 3 months and then come back.
Yeah. And a lot of Thai people speak English. It isn't. You go to Thailand and a lot of people, that's their second spoken language is English. So it's not like you're going to be screwed completely.
What's the first spoken language?
Thai. I mean...
No shit.
Thai, right? Thai.
Look it up.
So it says there's a Destination Thailand visa, which is a DTV. It's available for foreign remote workers, digital nomads. So this is probably people that would be staying up to 180 days per visit with a total validity of 5 years. So if you want to keep reinstating it, you can do it up to 5 years.
Okay. For an AI overview, it says... Proto-Thai is the first spoken language in Thailand. It is the ancestral language of the Thai language family, which is believed to have originated from modern-day Vietnam and China. This language has evolved from Old Thai.
So just Thai, basically, just different types of Thai.
So, very interesting. It came from the 14th and 15th century.
It's Thai language. Just different types.
Yeah, Proto-Thai now, but whatever. Yeah. There was Old Thai, so it was probably just called Thai. But very interesting, okay.
You don't really need that much paperwork. They don't require certain things to be able to get the visa either. So if you're trying to do something like that, you're not going to find that much issue when doing that. This ties with making it more affordable. They have a lot of public transportation system to where you're avoiding wasting gas money.
Okay.
So in Bangkok, you have access to the BTS SkyTrain and the MRT subway. Both are efficient and affordable, and you should have no problem navigating your way through Bangkok. One of the main ways to get around are motorbikes, and it's the most accessible and most affordable way to get around.
So probably having like an electric bike would be.
Think how cheap that gas price is to get. So on top of like saving money for rent and food, it's even cheaper for transportation instead of like driving your car and spending a lot of money on gas. And they also have like the Grab, and they have a Grab, which is kind of similar to Uber and Lyft. It's not as reliable and convenient. You might wait longer. Statistically, see, I do it too. Statistically speaking, America has a higher crime rate than Thailand. As for safety, America ranks that number 56 and Thailand ranks at 95 for safety. Food. Safety, like it's safer in Thailand than in America.
Oh,
like the ranking for safety.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood that.
Statistically speaking, America has a higher crime rate than Thailand.
Okay.
As for safety, America ranks at number 56 and Thailand ranks at 95. So it's very safe. Other than the child trafficking, which probably is under our noses everywhere.
I just know that there's a lot of brothels in Thailand, which, like, in the U.S., you're not going to easily find a brothel. Like, apparently in Thailand, it's very easy.
Prostitute. Like, they allow certain things.
Oh, they allow prostitution?
Well, like, when you go down, well, it says it's illegal, but they call certain things, like, when you go down the, like, strip in Bangkok, they literally have, like, ladyboy bars and girl bars, and they can do things to you, and, like, yeah, and all my research, this guy basically lives here, and from what he's learned and what he's heard from locals, and also, it said Thai culture is steeped in Buddhist morals and principles. A personal observation made by someone who lives there is that most Thais believe in karma and treat each other with the utmost respect towards one another and their property. And it's not that crime doesn't exist in Thailand, it's just not as prevalent.
Okay.
People just believe in karma. They're like, they don't want to basically, they don't want to cause any bad juju upon themselves. So they're going to probably most likely avoid to do wrong. Unless they're very much so desperate.
Okay.
And that's coming from like somebody who lives there, from him talking to people.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, the most you would hear of as petty crimes such as pickpocketing, scams, robbery, basically coming from desperate people not meaning to do you harm. That. It's right there. I was literally about to say that. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it'd be pretty cool for temporary. Like, I've seen good things about it.
Okay, yeah. You would probably experience a lot of, like, personal growth moving there, and also just, like, experiencing that culture just sounds very different. Very beautiful.
It also seems very different to the food, the way the apartment is. It'd be easy to move there with all the permits and stuff. It doesn't cost a lot.
And especially if you just wanted to go and like work there for like 3 months, you could literally just find a job for just 3 months.
And I don't even need a visa or anything. I could just go.
Yeah.
Thailand doesn't like require that. That's so cool.
Especially like, let's say you had like, let's just say you had like $15,000 saved up. You could potentially move to Thailand for like 3 months. Like, quit your job. Move to Thailand. So leave your job on good terms. Say that you're leaving for like another job opportunity. Go and work there for like 3 months, and then come back and then reapply at your job and just be like, hey.
No, they would take me back no matter what.
Yeah, like that would be really cool. And especially if you had $15,000 at your leisure, you would have enough money for your apartment rent for 3 months. You'd have enough money for transportation. You'd have enough money for food. And then you would be making money on top of living there. Even if it's just a little, you wouldn't be, like, if you had $15,000 saved up, you could totally do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you could do that for 3 months and then come back to your apartment in the U.S., have somebody you know and trust, keep your animals, come back.
Bring them. I see that's will be the hardest thing if I won't be able to bring them.
See, that would be the hardest thing for me because I might have to wait.
Dogs. I have to wait, like, for them to, like, I don't know. Like, I want to be able, like, that's the only, like, he can't go out of the country because he has the pit in him.
Well, I mean,
maybe we can get a vet to lie and give the fake vet records.
Hey, you can always try.
So yeah,
I could not leave my dogs. I love, like, even when I'm camping for like just over a week, I miss my Titan.
I would miss him too.
I love my dogs, and to be honest, I feel like I don't know if I could live outside of the US for even over 3 months. I feel like I would get really frustrated, and I'd be like, I just want to go back to my hidey hole in the US in my house and just I need some familiarity, I guess. Like if I went to China, I feel like I would get eventually kind of tired of it.
That's why you don't want to do too long.
Even though China's beautiful, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying that if I were to move to China, I feel like I would miss my own culture at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so it says for up to 60 days for tourism. If 60 days or less, you don't need a visa. After 60 days, you can do a 60-day visa and it can extend for 30 days.
Okay. Very cool.
But yeah, I mean,
Thailand's really cool.
Living up there, if I were to I don't know if I would actually ever do that, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not Thailand, maybe somewhere else, yeah.
But I would stay there for multiples of weeks, maybe. I wouldn't say that's moving somewhere. That's just like...
It would be cool to stay there for even like a month.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that
would be like, that's a more realistic thing.
But you would have to have like lodging for like a whole
I don't want to live there, I don't think, for like that much. Like I would say, like I said, I just want to get the experience, and at the end I would want to come home.
Yeah.
To like people. But I would have stories to tell.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Like I wish that there's something that I've always wanted to do, and it's working at a national park. You can work at a national park for like I think you can work from 3 to 6 months depending on your contract. And one of the parks that I would love to work in is Yellowstone. I have a friend that used to work in Yellowstone, and I miss her. We haven't talked in years. But she used to work there. She used to work in hospitality. So she was just like a hotel, like she would just like work at the front desk, or she would work in like cleaning the rooms. She said that there was a bar every night all of the employees would go to, and they would all just hang out and tell stories about their day and like, just drink and like then go back to their cabins and go to sleep. And they normally had cabin mates, so you would either be with one or two other people. Okay. But you would like make like really good friends. So you'd be there for like 3 to 6 months depending on your contract. And I literally told Eric that is something that I would like to do in my lifetime. You know, I can't do it right now. My son is just too little. Like, I would not want to miss 3 months out of his life at all. Mm-hmm. When he is older or something, or if he wanted to come and, you know, if he was even old enough to work with me, I feel like it would be like a beautiful family building experience. Like, it's something that I have always wanted to do since my friend did it. And
I don't see why you couldn't.
You don't make that much. The fact is like you're building like a community of people that you're never going to forget. Yellowstone. But you can do this in any national park. You can do this at Yosemite. You could apply to just like work in the national park for, you know, let's say you want your contract to be 4 months. They can honor that. They can literally honor that. They could be like, okay, you're signing a 4-month contract. You're going to work here from April until August or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that I want to do eventually, but right now my baby is too little, and I'm also not.
I to see why they wouldn't allow him to stay in the housing unit that you're in if you were to get care.
It's probably something that can happen. I just haven't researched that.
I think it's possible for sure.
But I would literally love to just work in a national park for like 3 months, because I would have the opportunity to just live in a beautiful area. And then I could come back home to my house when I'm done. And I'm also making money while I work there.
Being at peace.
Also in Yellowstone, you do not have a signal most of the time. Apparently, even workers with the Wi-Fi that's provided, it's so spotty. She said that there was only one spot in her cabin and one spot on the road that they knew about when they really needed to get in touch with someone. Apparently, their Wi-Fi is so bad, like it is impossible.
Unless you see the emergency.
And the nearest store, I think, from Yellowstone is like an hour away, like a Walmart.
That's crazy.
You need to get stuff. You have to get stuff from like the campus place or like Amazon.
I'm definitely gonna come prepared when I go. That's for sure.
Yeah. Apparently, it's like there are stores few and far in between, and there are very small marketplaces, but they have like a limited amount of items, obviously. But, anyways, totally off topic here. Holy shit.
It's okay. I have some interesting facts about Thailand.
Okay.
It's offensive to touch people's head in Thailand.
Okay.
Okay, it's considered sacred and the cleanest part of your body. That is why you should avoid touching people's head or hair, and that is applied to kids as well. You know what? I actually hate when someone touches my head, so I would fit in very well. Because whenever my brother will do it, and I'd be like, and I would look down, I'd be like, don't touch me, like, get off my hair, like, I just cleaned it.
I only like someone touching my head during one specific time.
Feet are considered dirty in Thailand, which I think we kind of knew that. They kind of like always take their shoes off before you come in. The Thai people consider shoes even dirtier than feet. That is why you should have to take them off when entering someone's home, a temple, or even some shops.
Okay.
So,
very interesting.
If you are in Thailand, you should never ever point at anyone or anything with your feet. It is considered rude and offensive. What if I'm like, you there, like with your foot?
I'm gonna start doing that. You there.
Insulting the king and the Thai royal family is illegal, and people not following the rule can end up in jail. So as you know now, feet are dirty. So if you step on Thai currency, the baht, your act will translate into offending the king's dignity because the king's face is on that Thai note in coins. This is criminal act, and punishment can be up to 15 years of imprisonment.
Oh my god.
I mean, who would step on money anyway? Red Bull's birthplace is Thailand.
I love Red Bull.
Ew.
I love a sugar-free Red Bull.
Basically, Red Bull is a modified version of a popular drink in Thailand called Krating Daeng. The drink was invented by Chelo Yuduvia to cure a hangover. The later an Austrian businessman on his trip to Thailand discovered the drink and made the Red Bull we all know today.
I fucking love Red Bull, dude. When I was pregnant, all I wanted was a Red Bull. And I couldn't drink.
It's so bad for you.
Just a sugar-free Red Bull. I don't drink them all the time, but like, it's just like
so bad.
The forbidden fruit.
Okay, so Thailand is home to the smallest mammal, which is the bumblebee bat. It is a native.
Bumblebee bat?
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
It's native to the Chanchaburi province in Thailand. It is also known as Kitty's hog-nosed bat. The body length of this bat is between 29 and 33 millimeters and weighs under 2 grams. It lives in limestone caves near a river.
What's it called again?
The bumblebee bat.
Oh my god. Look at him. He's little. Oh my god, look him up. Oh, he's so cute. Look him up.
It's like the size of your damn fingernail almost.
Yeah, they're so cute. Look them up.
This is one I knew, and I didn't need to research this, because I actually was going to go almost around this time, which is the Thai New Year, and they have a water fight. It goes for 3 days long, and basically you bring a water gun, any type of water, and everybody just dumps water on you, and you're walking in the towns, and people are squirting water on you, dumping. If you look it up on TikTok, it's a whole festival. It's called the Water Festival. It's the New Year, and it's April 13th through the 15th.
It's funny. What if you went during that time?
I was supposed to. We were supposed to go. I think we were gonna go when I was gonna go to Thailand with my friends. That we were gonna be leaving a couple days before it started.
That is so fun.
But it's an annual the biggest water festival, water fight festival.
That's nuts. Oh my god.
It says whistling at night brings bad luck. So while whistling might be seen as something you do when you're bored or something to entertain yourself, in Thailand it's different, especially at night. Thai people believe that by whistling at night you are calling the evil spirits and it will bring trouble and bad luck to you.
Huh. Crazy.
Chopsticks are not for Thai food.
Oh.
Unlike in China and some other Asian nations, chopsticks are not used to eat a bowl of rice in Thailand. Thai people use forks and spoons, and sometimes they will eat with bare hands. They use chopsticks only for Chinese dishes.
I'm not very skilled at chopsticks.
I think I have one more. Okay, and this is what we were talking about earlier. Prostitution is illegal in Thailand. Okay, the fact might surprise you. The most prostitution has been banned in Thailand since 1960. But what do you think? The reality seems quite different. Despite being illegal, prostitution is widely practiced in Thailand. There are red districts in almost every major city in the country, including Bangkok, Pattaya, and Phuket. So, it's the government-owned facilities. So they are prostituting, but it's illegal if you're doing it not in these buildings, I'm assuming. But yeah, no, they allow this shit. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Huh. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Ladyboy bars. I looked it up. I looked up a video on TikTok to see what I would be walking into to go to Bangkok. Because if we were to go to Bangkok, the majority is the city nightlife. And when I think of Bangkok, I think of hangover. That's what I want to experience.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get that fucked up and get a tattoo and all that shit. So.
Love The Hangover. I need to watch all of those movies again. Oh my god.
Those are the facts, so we can always jump into Japan.
Yep. Okay. Well, we are going to very, very quickly go through Japan because we still have Australia and Antarctica to get into. So we legitimately did not know that this topic was going to be so time consuming. It's very amazing that we have learned this much, but we also did not know that it was going to take this long to tell it to you. We will keep that in mind for future episodes. We have to keep going with our research. We're going to go through Japan very quickly. Japan has approximately 125.9 million as its population. Japan has very long life expectancy, 86 years old for women, 79 for men.
We women, we live longer.
Has the highest centenarian rate of 100 years or more in the world. And in the Okinawa area, it is known for excellent health of their people, and it's largely attributed to their healthy lifestyle and diet. Japan has also the highest percentage of elders in the world, and Japan is also at very high risk of rapid population decline.
How? Because they're so old and they're all dying so fast. Sorry, you guys.
Japan is known for its excellent transportation systems, and it is known as a futuristic city. The scenery is beautiful. The city is very clean. Not even the city, but the entire country is noted to be very clean. You will find the freshest seafood in the world here. Tokyo education is also renowned around the world. And English is often understood here, but more broken English can be found depending on the area. Some cons for moving to Japan as an American is cost of living in the metropolitan areas is very high. Workplace environment can be very stressful because working overtime is required almost everywhere. Foreigners typically always feel outcasts if they are not ethnically Japanese, and many report living there and visiting there are totally different experiences. Which I followed this girl on Snapchat for the longest time, and then I unfollowed her because she doesn't post that much.
What's the point of me following you?
Yeah. But she basically tried to move to Japan, but nobody would let her live there for longer than a year once her lease was up. They would just say, you have to find a new apartment. And she was like, why can't I just renew my lease? And they were just like, we don't do that for Americans. But she said that it was very hard for her to even find a job.
I heard it's hard if you don't speak either, Japanese or something.
She did actually speak fluent Japanese because she had went to school for speaking Japanese for 4 years, I think. She was really wanting to move there and stuff, but she legitimately could not live at any place longer than a year, and she just got really fed up with that, so then she ended up moving to the UK. But if you know who I'm talking about, you can email it to me or put it in the comments if you know who I'm talking about. It's a friend of Lynn Zor's, if you know. But anyways, if you don't, then whatever. But if you want to come to Japan and work there and live there, you would have to get a temporary working visa, or there are also general visas as well. Your jobs available to you are teaching English, engineers, nursing, factory workers. There's actually a very unique market for recruiters here. There are tourism companies that are looking for people fluent in Japanese and English, and modeling. These are all just ideas for jobs. On average, Japanese rent is about $1,400. That's for a 3-bedroom apartment. A family in the US of 4 would be probably a little under $3,000. So it's looking at half the price, kind of. Average cost of living in Japan is 53% less expensive than the United States. I can't speak anymore. If you want to get a college degree in Japan, you're looking at about $20,000 to $23,000. This is USA currency per year. So for doctorate studies, it's about $5,000 per year. So if you want to get your doctorate in Japan, it's a lot cheaper than US. Healthcare is not free in Japan, and health insurance is required for all residents. Although the government pays 70% of medical expenses, patients also require a co-payment in some form. We are only going to do 5 interesting facts about Japan. There are 28 Nobel Prize winners from Japan. Fleeing motorists in Japan are shot by police with paintball guns. This helps them identify them.
Sucks to suck.
Train stations in Japan have staff people to shove people in the trains because there are so many passengers. Like to be shoved into a train. I'm claustrophobic as fuck, dude. If I'm getting on an elevator and there are more than 3 people on it, I'm like, please, I'm like, just breathe.
Oh my god, what would you do on the cruise ship, honey?
I don't like an elevator. I would use the stairs.
Well, honey, when there's 18 decks and you don't want to, after you've done it about 8 times, you don't want to walk up 10, 15 flights. And then they say you can fit up to 18 people. There's been times I was in the elevator and you think, oh, like, there's no way we can fit. And then there's those 2 rude people like, oh, we can fit. And then they
oh my god. That gives me so much anxiety, dude.
When you just take the steps and go up and down and you'll get real good exercise.
When there's more than 3 people in the elevator at work, I'm like, nope, I am not doing it.
The video of the cruise elevators. Oh my
god, dude. I am majorly claustrophobic. If I were to go into a cave and it got like really, really wedged in, I could not go.
Maybe you couldn't do the Man with Caves, some of the tours. That went on the Fat Man's Misery.
When I feel claustrophobic in the elevator, sometimes I literally am like,
but these elevators are huge.
But if I'm shoved close with people like that,
you would be shoved with me in Trapper, so it would be okay.
Okay, well, I would just have to.
But if anything, we were with like Kevin and like my stepdad and like the girls, and they're all like, they don't like to do a lot of walking. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm down to go up and down the flights, but after a minute, you might be fucking sick of it.
Oh my god.
Especially if there's 20 floors.
I'm super claustrophobic, so oh my god. I just don't like tight spaces. It makes me feel, I don't know, it makes me feel like I can't breathe. Trains are very punctual in Japan, so if you are running late, you will most likely be late. Eating while walking is considered rude here, so if you're going to get street food in Japan, you should eat it off to the side while sitting down, not while walking.
They say it's not good to eat and stand either. Mm-hmm. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It's not good for you.
Japan has a low crime rate. There are nearly 14,000 islands in Japan. I did not know that. We needed to just fly through that because we literally still have 2 other countries.
And I'll fly through Australia. Okay. Are we going to do Australia first, or you want to do Antarctica?
We can do Antarctica first.
Okay, go ahead.
So we're just going to basically just go into some questions about Antarctica. And basically just FAQs, and then we're going to talk about a few interesting facts about Antarctica before we move to Australia, and then we will end this podcast for the day. This has been a wild ride. This is the longest we've ever gone. So
it's even more than the other one. Oh my god! And it doesn't feel like it. It's because it's so early in the day.
Yes, but it's also pretty crazy. Like, oh my god! If you're still with us through all of this time, holy shit, we love you guys.
We love you.
Now we are going to get into Antarctica before we get into Australia. Can you legally live in Antarctica? No. It is not possible to take a permanent residence in Antarctica. Antarctica bans permanent human habitation. Only research groups are allowed to stay for limited periods of time. Wonder why that is. The overall population can go as up to 10,000 people, but none can claim permanent residence. Antarctica is the only continent without permanent human habitation. However, there are permanent human settlements where scientists and staff will live for part of the year on a rotating basis. There are settlements that serve as research stations. Why is it not possible to live in Antarctica? Well, it is a continent that is covered by an enormous layer of thick ice. This ice sheet can go as low as -80 degrees Celsius. It makes it virtually impossible for humans to settle and sustain life there. All food is imported, basically, unless you're ice fishing. Antarctica is a guarded continent. This dates all the way back to the Civil War period. Military activity is strictly banned, and the guarding of Antarctica is done through legal and political means. Surprisingly, 11 babies have been born in Antarctica, and none of them died as infants. There is an option to stay at a research station or tourist camp or going on a cruise ship or a guided tour. So there are no permanent residents, only scientists. You cannot buy any property there. There are no cities or towns. It is extremely cold. Annual temperatures are about -10. And on the coast where the water is, you're looking at like -60. There are very strong winds, very dry conditions. There are no recreational activities. You can ski and snowboard and hike, but those areas are very strictly regulated and they're only available during certain parts of the year. You're not allowed to bring pets except for working dogs. Why are they taking dogs to Antarctica?
I don't know. Maybe to go look for stuff. Sniff it out.
Fishing and hunting is strictly regulated. They want to preserve the terrestrial ecosystem. You know what that tells me? That tells me that there is something there that they do not want the general population to see.
Oh, I bet.
It is not possible to grow crops or raise livestock in Antarctica. It is legally impossible for anybody to move there permanently. So Antarctica contains 90% of the world's ice and 70% of the world's fresh water. These are facts, by the way. We're getting into the facts now. Although krill are the size of a small paperclip, krill swarms in Antarctica can be seen from space. I find that very interesting.
It's so cool. I learned about them from Happy Feet.
I just watched that a few weeks ago.
The Happy Feet too, when they start dancing, like
I loved that movie as a kid.
Dude, those are my movies. I love those movies.
I know, they're so homey.
They make me want to cry.
Oh, I know. Only love can build us a bridge of light. Average thickness of the ice there in Antarctica is about 1 mile. Russians actually first discovered Antarctica in 1820, and the first recorded child born was Emily Marco Palma in January of 1979. Antarctica is also the windiest continent on Earth, with winds reaching up to 200 miles per hour. Jeez. 40,000 people visit each year, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
That's not even in my top 5. We're going to quickly cover some conspiracies about Antarctica. In 2016, pyramids were discovered in Antarctica. Basically, people think that there was some ancient civilization that lived there. Another is that there is a conspiracy that there is a Nazi base in Antarctica, and the Nazis launched an expedition there in 1938. Basically, they're saying that their base is underground and nobody can really know if it's there. Another conspiracy is that Atlantis is under Antarctica, but to be honest, I feel like if Atlantis existed, I feel like it's off the coast of Africa. I don't feel like it would be all the way up there, but
it would be warm. But then you gotta think if there's another ocean underneath the ocean, then...
Well, Plato, which is a Greek philosopher, he referenced and he said that Atlantis was destroyed under one single day of misfortune, and Greek culture is closer to Africa than it would be to Antarctica. But that's just my thought.
Okay.
Because Russia is all the way on the other side, and then Antarctica's on top. So, I don't know. I just feel like if Atlantis were to exist, I feel like it would be off the coast of Africa. But don't quote me on it. I'm just a weirdo who likes to learn about weird stuff.
Yeah.
There is another conspiracy that claims that a UFO crashed in Antarctica. There is actually a picture on it, which you can see on Google Earth. I don't know if it's still there or not. But it does really resemble like some kind of thing that crashed. Geologists don't agree, and they say that it was caused by an avalanche. But there's literally no sign of an avalanche. Like just look up UFO crash in Antarctica. You'll find it. There is a crater in Antarctica, and they say that crater is the entrance to Hollow Earth. Apparently, in 2019, there was a deep crater that was discovered in the permafrost of Antarctica. This crater was first discovered on satellite images in 2006. The scientists think that the crater was formed millions of years ago. There is certain reasons why nobody can move there permanently, and it has to be because they are hiding something, because the government is corrupt, And I do not believe...
Even just, okay, I mean, no one would probably want to live there permanently, but why can't we visit? Right? Without some type of, right? Permission. Yeah. That's weird. Like, if I wanted to go stay there for a month, why not? They don't want, they don't want to see shit.
There are literally 2 specific craters that are found along the coast of Antarctica. They look like some entrance into something. There is a UFO conspiracy theorist named Scott Waring claiming that those craters were formed by UFOs that were buried in the permafrost. You know what I think? I think real people dug out those holes as entrances into something. Whatever they are, they don't want us to know about it. Probably an entrance to a lab of some kind. Who knows? But that's just my thought. There is a weird conspiracy saying that Antarctica does not exist. This is common among flat earther theories who claim that the earth is flat and that there is a layer of ice all around the planet and that there is a dome on top of us. And that's why we can see the sun and the moon at the same time. And no, I do not believe that the earth is flat. You know why? Because planets are round and they spin and they circulate in space, and I just seriously do not believe that at all.
No, me neither.
And we're going to get into our last conspiracy, which is the Nazis hid UFOs in Antarctica. So they're saying that during World War II, U.S. and British forces repeatedly tried to destroy bases of the Germans during the war. And the idea was that the Nazi military had an interest in Antarctica, so they went there to rebuild crafts that they had found like during the World War. Just a theory. I don't really know if I believe that one, but basically that's really all we have for Antarctica. The last continent that we're going to go into is Australia. Australia. Kyla has some interesting information about Australia before we end it here for the day.
We'll try to hurry this crap up, that way we don't make it too long for you folk.
Yeah.
Okay, so comparing, a U.S. visa cost for an Australian is $21 ESTA, which an ESTA is an electronic system for travel authorization, instead of a $185 visa for U.S. visitors. So Australians would pay less coming to America, and we have to pay more to go.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy, though? I don't know. Yeah. It just shows you that it's in that sense, too. I was like, oh, okay, so it's cheaper for them. But those are a B1 visa and a B2 visa, and it's a one-time fee, and it's valid for 2 years. And there's actually multiple other visas if you're wanting to stay for longer periods of time, and there's different processes. You can't just come because you want to come. You have to have some type of work that you're going to come provide for Australia. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So to move to Australia, you need to apply for a visa that's appropriate for your circumstances. The type of visa you need depends on your skills, work experience, and whether you're sponsored by an Australian employer. So it's not just, other than just the 2-year visa, if you're wanting to stay longer, you either have to look into the other types of visa that might be what you need, like what works for you. Okay. There's like a migrant one, nomination, independent visa, basically just different. You really got to do your research when it comes to that with Australia, with the visas. Okay. So on a website, which we will give you all that information in the link, the average cost, I found something that says what the average cost of living in Australia is generally 8% less expensive than the U.S. When you look at currency, the Australian dollar is lower. So the average weekly expenditure in Australia is around $2,200 per household, including home loans or rent. So on an average, about $600 a week. Okay. Rent in Australia is lower than in the U.S. Average prices ranging from $1,589 to $2,068, depending on location.
1,500?
Yeah.
Oh, but their currency is
different.
Okay.
All of this is considered, which is what we'll go over. It's clear Australia is a cheaper option than the U.S. when it comes to cost of living. But like I've said so many times, depending on your lifestyle and how you eat, this all and how you travel, this all will play a big factor. And anywhere you move, I feel like with your type of lifestyle and how much money you spend on certain things. When you compare the prices between Australia and the US, it's important to consider the exchange rate as well as cost of living. While Australia is generally cheaper than the US, it's still important to understand the differences in pricing between the two countries when you compare. For cost of living, Australia ranks 10th in the world, while the US ranks 6th. The US dollar is generally stronger, meaning that prices in Australia tend to be higher than in the US. It doesn't mean that everything is more expensive. Certain items tend to be cheaper. For example, groceries, transportation, tuition fees, ATM fees are lower than in the US due to the exchange rate. It is important to research prices thoroughly before making a purchase and compare items between both your countries.
Okay.
So we all know that the US dollar is the most traded currency globally, for those of you who didn't know.
Okay.
Bilateral exchange rate are typically quoted against that. So if you don't know what that means, it refers to the price of one currency. For example, one Pakistan rupee and the US dollar could be expressed equaling to, so like one Pakistan rupee would be 0.003 cents in US. That means it takes 300 Pakistan rupees to purchase one US dollar. So our currency is just, so if you're looking at a quick currency converter, it will show you that 0.2 cents, so 72 cents will convert to one Australian dollar.
Okay.
So that you can kind of get like the currency difference. That way you can kind of see. It means that it is cheaper to convert currency in Australia than in the States. Governments and monetary authorities will often try to intervene and manipulate their currency price, since doing so can give them an economic advantage. So knowing your value currency in relation to foreign currencies is the key. So you kind of just got to know what you're doing when you're exchanging the rate, the currency value. Like, you know, like they say you want to do it, don't do it when you get there to Australia. So you'll get more of your value rather than doing it like at the airport or something like that where they can take more money from you.
Okay.
So when you compare cost of living, the cost of living in Australia, so this is different overall. So it's 15.71% higher than in the US, but it varies depending on what region you live in. Sydney is known to be more expensive than other parts of Australia, and I feel like that makes sense. When you think of Australia, you think of Sydney. So I just feel like when you think of moving to Australia, you would think of Sydney. I don't really know many other places in Australia until I really did this.
So I really don't either.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I want to.
So when you think of Australia, you're like, I want to move to Sydney. So yeah, Sydney's going to be like basically one of the most expensive places you could live at, possibly. The cost of living isn't the only factor to consider when you compare prices. The currency exchange rate, like I mentioned before, and prices for common items also play a role. So depending on your lifestyle, how you're living, what you buy on a day-to-day basis can also impact where you live, how much you're spending. So it would vary. Like I don't go out and buy stuff every day. Like I don't go buy, I budget and I eat healthy. It says like if you're going to go eat out at like fast food there, it can get to be expensive. But if you're just buying at a grocery and you know, you're going to save a little bit more money. So it really, like from my research, it just depends. It really does.
Depends on your lifestyle.
And where you, it really does. So we're going to explore how to compare prices of common things between Australia and the US, like when it comes to markets or restaurants, transportation. Australia is not necessarily cheaper than the US. Prices for the services are largely dependent on location and can vary from city to city. I wouldn't recommend going to Sydney because it's probably the most expensive place, but if you have the money, why not? It's worth to know that Australia does have a much more developed public transportation system than the US, which can help you keep your costs down for those traveling within cities, which, you know, makes sense because, you know, in the US, there's only so many full complete underground subways or stations. Like, have you noticed that we don't really have a lot of public transportation?
No.
That was like a big thing I like, was like that can help as well.
Just with cost of living and stuff.
Imagine if we just had subway stations everywhere.
That'd be really cool.
Like into Goshen, into Milford.
Really convenient.
That'd be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We just quit building one in Cincinnati. Remember? Didn't they stop building that one?
Mm-hmm. It's abandoned now.
Yep.
I have a friend who's actually been in there. He's a pick lock and got through.
To the New York public when I went to New York and did the whole subway system, I was like, I loved it. I thought it was so smart. It just made so much sense.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really nice and convenient.
So yeah, I had to put that in there because like really much related. So to feel like we don't have that. We don't have that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's everywhere in Australia. It's very good. Mm-hmm. It says many restaurants in Australia offer discounts and loyalty programs and can help reduce your costs for frequent diners, but that seems to be also something that you can get here in the U.S. So when it mentioned tuition fees, it says Australia is cheaper than the U.S. Undergraduate international students in Australia will likely pay between this, and this is I'm going to transfer it from AUD to USD. So they'll likely pay between 20,000 to 45,000 AUD, and that's 12,000, 30,000 USD translated. That makes sense. So 45,000 Australian dollars, you would be only paying 30,000 US dollars. You're getting more value out of your college. Like the college is going to be cheaper because that exchange rate, like I was trying to explain, plays a big role in where you'd be making. Mm-hmm. Like that would be more money for you, or it wouldn't be as expensive for you to pay for the college.
It is still about like the same price though, if that's per year. Like that is like about the same price it is in college. It's
definitely a lot cheaper in most American degrees, which can range somewhere between 20,000 to 50,000. So it says the average, the highest was 30,000 to 50,000. So that's about like a $20,000 range difference with colleges. And this is just average.
I got that it was 4,000 to 20,000. Obviously it can be more. So I guess 4 to 30,000 is like American for a year. Sorry, American culture.
Yeah.
Which is like $4,000 to $30,000.
So it's not like it's too much, but you can save money. Yeah, about $20,000. And you get a lot of benefits as well.
Okay. So I guess it's saying it also can be as cheap as $12,000. Per year. So okay.
I was just saying the highest one.
Okay. Yeah. Very interesting.
But on top of paying for tuition, international students also need to pay for a student visa. In Australia, the student visa foreign student need in Australian is subclass 500, and it costs about $535. So foreign students would need a subclass visa, basically.
Interesting.
On top of going to the college, you have to pay extra. According to IBS World Forecast, the AU and US exchange rate is expected to fall by 7.5% in 2022 to 2023 to 0.668. And it was 0.72 when I did check, and it has went down. So it used to be 72 cents for the dollar. Now it's 68 cents. So basically it's more for the US dollar now. Like you would get more out of it.
Yeah.
Because it went down. And it did happen. I looked it up and it did happen. It was 0.72 and it is now 0.62 to make $1 Australian dollar. Outside of Sydney and Melbourne, life can be relatively affordable, and with a good rule of thumb being to budget around $600 per week for a minimal lifestyle. With recent house prices in the US, they have been affected by economic turbulence. There are still bargains to be found. For example, compared to other capital cities, Perth is one of the cheapest major cities in Australia. The average rent in Perth is approximately $390 weekly for apartments and $460 weekly for houses.
It's nice.
And the average cost of living for one person in Perth is around 3,599 AUD per month. That's including rent and food. And when I did the currency exchange to the US, it goes to 2,222.
Literally what we do. Like, so.
I mean, they're kind of similar. So, like this, and Australia could be a cheaper place to live depending on how you live. Yeah. Basically, it's really,
I really love Australian culture. I wish that I could move there and adopt the fucking accent, dude.
Oh, listen, it actually would be bad. I would really do good. I'm so good at, like, if I were to listen to an accent for an extended period amount of time, I will do it, and I will do it good. Whenever I get the whole Svetlana, the Russian accent, I fucking listen to her all fucking day, and I swear to God, I will do accent and make you think so. I haven't heard an accent in a while, I'm so talented. Like, that is one of my, like, talents is accents. Just be listening to a couple of movies.
Actor, dude.
I could do it.
Oh my god, that's
I am so confident in the accents thing, too.
Huh.
I made someone believe I was from Liverpool, England one year when I was really young. A very young age.
God.
I actually wanted to talk the whole time during, when I was at my eye doctor job. I did a whole appointment talking in an English accent. It was so fucking hard. It was so fucking hard. Bloody hell.
Oh.
I was kidding.
I love that.
So funny.
You know, it's funny because me and Mackenzie and Miranda, we literally talk to each other in like British accents sometimes because we're like, who's that? Like,
I do that all the time. And that's literally in my Airbnb. Like, I like to talk in accents sometimes.
So funny. Oh my God, that's funny.
It is so funny. So yeah, Perth, cheap, and then Adelaide. We've never heard of these places.
I've heard of Adelaide.
In Australia?
Yeah, I've heard of Adelaide.
Okay, well that's another cheap place to live in Australia.
Okay, I haven't heard of Perth, but hey, I've
never heard of those places, so
I'm not from Australia, okay, but I want to go. Okay,
so according to Numbeo, which I read, saying that actually the average monthly rent in Perth is slightly higher than Adelaide, about 4%. So Adelaide might be cheaper than Perth. Overall, Perth has a lower cost of living than Sydney. The monthly rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the city center is cheaper by 21.3%. Meanwhile, a loaf of white bread costs 19.1% less. It's saying that it's comparing Perth to Sydney, so it's way more expensive to live in Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't. I mean, it'd be cool to visit, but if you have local transportation, you could save 24.4% traveling. It says Australians pay more for electricity than U.S. citizens, and they are set to rise even further.
Oh, wow.
However, utilities like water, heat, and waste tend to be more affordable in Australia than in the U.S. So it's just kind of like tit for tat.
Yeah. Pick your poison.
Healthcare. Both Australia and U.S. have a different system. Healthcare is funded by both public and private. Public sector funds the majority of healthcare while the private sector pays for a portion of it. However, the U.S. majority of healthcare are covered by private health insurance plans, meaning the healthcare can be significantly higher in the U.S. than in Australia. Australians are able to access universal healthcare services while it is not an option. And the U.S. overall, Australia's healthcare system provides a better outcome at a lower cost than the U.S. system, according to the data tracked by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. So their healthcare is way better. You get it cheaper overall. It's cheaper. Okay. Even with the private.
I would love to move to Australia. I feel like I would actually adjust there very easily. But I feel like I would be way more comfortable moving to Australia than I would be like moving to Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to just see a kangaroo in my backyard and watch them fight, or like a koala.
You gotta hide your dog. You gotta hide your dog.
I know they'll drown them.
You got two dogs, man. Dude, kangaroos have some beef with dogs.
Think of them as a predator.
Look it up on TikTok.
Don't look it up.
Don't
look
it up.
Tell you about that? This kangaroo will hold your dog underwater and drown it, dude.
You made me go down the rabbit hole because then I started watching. I was like, wait, kangaroos have beef with dogs? Literally, kangaroos have beef with dogs. It's the weirdest thing ever, and they're fucking scary as fuck. Like, they're cute, but there's like no soul in their eyes. Like, they're just like, oh my god.
Dad, fuck that. They're gonna eat them. That guy that fought on that video, that guy fighting it.
So many, dude. I went down the rabbit hole too.
Food costs. There are more important considerations to keep in mind. Food prices are lower in the U.S. than in Australia, but however, if you eat at the same type of place you would eat out in Australia, such as a cafe or a restaurant, the U.S. can be surprisingly expensive. So we can see this reflected in metrics such as cost of groceries in Australia is 10.6 more expensive than in the United States. But when you look at a basket of items, assuming a consumer purchased one unit of each item, the total cost was 14% less than in the U.S. So if this doesn't make sense to you, it's just, I keep going back to it. It's just what you eat. Like, if you're buying all that junk, I'm sure it's going to be expensive. Like, I think if you buy more local stuff, it's just going to be cheaper in those type of places. Like, if you eat healthy, I don't think it's going to be that expensive. And I mean, it's even saying cafes might be a little bit cheaper than eating out. Like here, eating out at like Texas Roadhouse is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Expensive.
We're probably going to a cafe there is maybe like getting like a $3.50 latte.
Yeah, like they just have more basic stuff. They don't have other, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, maybe local, so they have the opportunity to make it cheaper. It's clear while food costs may be lower in the US than they are in Australia, it is important to consider when you're eating out, when you're comparing these prices. We basically have just all this fast food, which just can end up being cheaper versus you going to a cafe or an actual restaurant. That makes, like, overall, the economy is highly developed. It says the unemployment rate is very low. Like, everybody is going to have a job, but you have to have something to give. Like, you're not just going to find any job. Nursing is big, IT, and the salaries are higher in Australia than they are in the US.
Really? Huh?
Tap on the clock, but the party don't stop now. It says,
I called it.
so it says as of July 1st, 2024, the minimum wage in Australia is $24 per hour. Or 915 per 38-hour a week.
Wow. That's nice.
Yeah, and then also it states that it can be challenging for a foreigner to find a job in Australia, but it's not impossible. It's competitive, and low unemployment rate mean there are good opportunities for qualified workers. So like you need to come like with something. Basically, if you're going to come work there and live there for a living, you got to show your worth basically and have some type of
either certification or a lot of experience.
Yeah, like you need a work visa, job in demand, persistence. Like to find a job, you just need to kind of factor your things out. Nursing is very popular, teaching. It seems like with all of the things that she's mentioned, teaching, like healthcare,
engineering,
IT,
sales.
It's all very common and foreign for people to move to other countries. And those are all very common jobs that you would be likely to want to do. Like, or that's what people are seeing. That's what their people are doing. That's what they're fucking doing. We can talk.
Well, we're going to get into the very last bit of our day, which is the Australian facts.
I have a couple too as well. So,
okay.
We'll see what you got too. We'll see what.
Kangaroo is the national animal of Australia. There were 3,200,000 kangaroo, actually more than that, sightings in just areas such as Australia and Papua New Guinea. And that's been seen since 2011.
And then on top of that, it says more than 80% of mammals, reptiles, and frogs are only found in Australia.
Wow. I love that.
So that kind of intertwined with animals. So maybe, isn't that crazy?
I want to see them all. Well, actually, I don't want to see them all, but I don't want them to eat.
I don't want that spider coming up in my house.
They have some crazy spiders up there. You do one. Kyla got a list too, so she's.
That's what I just said. Oh, we do another one?
Oh, yeah.
It has natural resources that include gold and iron, among other valuable resources. So it's very high in gold and iron. It's very rich.
Huh. Damn, why am I not? I need to go to Australia and get some freaking gold.
Shut the fuck up.
Serious. Alright. Australia is one of the only continent/nations in the world, which means it is a continent and an independent country as well. It is also the smallest, flattest, most driest inhabited continent in the world. So, there's a reason why it's not really happening.
I actually put this in here too. It says the education system. I don't even know if this is like an interesting fact. It says the education system in Australia is high quality and is regarded as one of the best for domestic and international students. Its key features include qualified trainers, a comprehensive curriculum, and high quality education. In addition, citizens and permanent residents can access free education from a government school. It has 7 of the top universities in the world, making it an ideal place for one to acquire an education. The government also set aside approximately $200 million from the budget, which are used for scholarships for local and international students.
Huh.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That is very cool.
The basically education is very highly valued there. It mentions that most automobiles are imported into the country due to the high cost of local manufacturing, leading to a high cost of purchasing and maintaining. So owning a car can be a lot, which is why people might end up using like regular transport, like public transportation.
Okay.
So owning a car in Australia would fucking suck.
Yeah, it says, according to Reddit, I literally just looked this up. Why is Australia so uninhabited? And this was put on Reddit less than a year ago. And the top comment is, it's dry. Like, it's really fucking dry. It's a small population because it's dry. We don't even have cities along the temperature coast yet. Why would we build large cities in the desert? The U.S. has the vast habitable areas and only a small amount of desert with such a large population.
It literally says the cities are so spread so far apart. One has to drive hours to get across the cities. Some towns are so widespread that one may drive more than half a day just to get to another city.
Wow.
So, even though it might be like, that's why you probably only hear of so many cities or towns.
Las Vegas is not even a fair comparison. You as an American should know, as the Great Journey West has a lot of days that are filled with desert. You will be living in that for years and years without very much infrastructure or rail system. So basically they're saying that it's really hard to like get around. You can't just live in Brisbane and like work in Perth.
Yeah, you gotta stay in that area.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be traveling a lot.
You'd be kind of landlocked a little bit in a way, especially if you were like very further into the continent.
You would probably want to live in. People want to live in Sydney, if they're wanting to be like.
Yeah, because they would be on the beach. They'd be on the coast. They get to see. They're not landlocked, but like it's like living in Ohio. I hate being landlocked. I would like for eventually to live on the coast. I want to live on the West Coast. I want to live specifically in Washington because I hate being landlocked, and I don't want to go to the East Coast. I would much rather go out west. I just love the West so much more. If I were able to visit Oregon like all the time, I would. But like I can't. I can't just do that like on a whim. Anyways, off topic. We have a few more facts and then we will end it here for today. The first cops in the country of Australia were all criminals. They were a band of the most well-behaved convicts, and there were 8 of them. And they were formed by Governor Arthur Phillip. So the first cops were bad guys. So Australians invented the ultrasound, the tank, the football, the refrigerator. They invented lawnmowers with engines, smoke alarms, aspirin, pacemakers, and penicillin. So there are a lot smart motherfuckers there. The world's largest espresso machine is in Australia. It can make up to 18 cups of coffee at a time. I need all of that right now.
I would taste.
See, our last fact is Australia is the only country in the world where there are more species of venomous snakes than there are non-venomous snakes. The inland taipan is the most venomous snake. With its one bite, it can kill 100 fully grown men or 2,500 mice. But is that 205,000?
I don't know. It's pretty crazy. That is fucking nuts.
Oh my god, imagine that spider getting in your house.
Hell no. I don't
crawling on your bed.
I don't want to talk about it. We're done.
Oh god.
Stop.
Okay, well, yeah, Kyla's scared of spiders, and I was just trying to figure out. If you have listened this long, first of all, my voice is a little hoarse, so. If you have listened this long, first of all, wow. High five, hats off to you. We're gonna
do a little twerk, make a little love, get down tonight.
Round of applause if you have made it this
Baby, make that ass
Holy
clap.
shit.
Drop it to the floor. Make that
Where's my vape? Where's my vape? I'm just kidding. Where's my vape? Where's my drink? Where's my Diet Dr. Kelp?
It's not here, it's gone.
If you have made it this long, seriously, we love you.
Keep it chatty, man.
Keep it sweet, because we are not
gonna be keeping it short.
We are not gonna be keeping it short, bitch. And if you are with us, we love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
This has been Chatterbox.